Good morning, my friends. How are you? I'm a few seconds late this morning because I was just checking trail cameras to see what's going on out at the lease property. I'm excited now about getting out and doing some hunting because it's cooler. I just could not get the bug when it was warmer. In fact, last week it was so warm I just wanted to golf instead of going hunting. Now it's like, okay, let's go hunting. And I will be. I will be hunting probably Friday night and Saturday night as well. Greg Plowman. That's for you, buddy. I was sitting here in the studio parking lot this morning, and Craig pulls up and he says, "Hey, I got a couple things for you." One of them was this Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Blaze Orange knit hat. I'm going to take it off now, though, Greg, because it's a little warm here in the morning or here in the studio. But it would be perfect for a fall, cold, maybe gun season day. So thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate it. Let's go back and look at some of the comments. John says, I'm ready. Hope the show is on this morning. Why would it not be on? Behind the Mic and Wednesday Night Live are almost always on. Eli, I'm with you. Glad to have some cooler temperatures. Mad Jack, good morning, buddy. How are you? Hello, Cliff. Nice to have you along with us as well. Why do those... Now, I haven't seen that before. That's an interesting look. Okay. Tommy, how are you? Craig, Paul, how's the blind? The blind is great. John, good morning. Hello, Renee. How are you? Joe, nice to have you along with us on this edition of Behind the Mic. My name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I'm actually behind two mics. This microphone, the one I'm talking to you now on my social media microphone, and this one, my official broadcast microphone that I will be talking into shortly. I got a really busy show this week, a lot of good guests. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Hello, Chris. Good morning. How are you? Bernie, that elk video from Troy Harrison is fantastic. I've watched it over and over. I had to laugh at all the ridiculous comments, though, about killing it with a fishing rod. Bernie, you are spot on. You are spot on. I got to be honest. I never cease to be amazed at how stupid people are, just in general. Not you, my friends, my regular listeners, my regular viewers, my friends. You're smart. The average person on Facebook has an IQ of a negative number. I'm convinced of that. Not you guys and gals, but the average person on Facebook. And you are so right. That video is the closest thing I've ever had to anything that went viral. It was sent to me. Actually, it was sent to me by Troy's uncle, Gary Morgan of Wild Game Dynasty. Troy Harrison owns Baldwin Canoe Rental. And I said on the post, he owns Baldwin Canoe Rental, but this is a northern Michigan river. And you're right, Bernie. You are absolutely right. The number of idiotic, stupid, dumb comments was absolutely surprising. Number one, people saying, I didn't know there were elk by Baldwin. I never said the video was shot near Baldwin. Never said that. I said a northern Michigan river because Troy didn't want to say exactly what river he was on because it's one of his fishing honey holes. So a surprising amount of people thought that video was of a moose. Also, an equally surprising number of people thought it was from the UP. I never said UP. I said northern Michigan River. Now, those of us who know the state know northern Michigan means northern lower. If it's from the Yup, you say it's from the Yup, the Upper Peninsula. And then people saying, oh, I'm so glad he didn't kill that elk. One guy actually said, I'm sure so glad he didn't kill that moose because I would have been offended. I had fun with that one. I'm like, well, you know what? If you think he's going to kill a moose, I'm offended that you think it's a moose when you're looking at video of a bull elk. Also, he clearly had a fishing rod in his hands. How was he going to kill a bull elk with a fishing rod? So, Bernie, don't get me started because I had to laugh at the ridiculous comments as well. Just, honestly, just dumb comments. But, to your point, a video of a bull elk walking in the stream in front of them, bugling on both sides of the river. It's some of the most majestic, beautiful, pure Michigan video I've ever seen. At this point, there are over 800,000 views on Facebook alone. I actually had one of my affiliate stations repost the video and talk about an Upper Peninsula elk. Jim, good morning. How are you? Paul, that blind is not available at Jay's, the base camp. Jay's does not carry the base camp. They do carry the carnivore. Morning, Jay. How are you? Jerry, good morning. Johnny Bowler, Bear Whisperer, good morning. Kevin, nice to have you along with hello. David, Brad, how are you? It is a nice, cool morning. Kevin agrees. It was a great video. It was absolutely beautiful, awesome video. And I cut off the front end of it where the guys are sitting there on the river and they can hear something coming up to the bank and they know it's big. And I think they suspect it's probably an elk. And they're pointing at the bank. And then this big, beautiful, majestic bull elk screams a bugle on the shoreline. And I, again, to the point of people being stupid, I had some people say, what is that sound? Did they put music over that? How can that animal make that sound? It's a bull elk bugling, for crying out loud. It's not a bull moose. Jim, I hope it does too, but I got to be honest with you. The powers that be in Lansing tell me there's not a chance it's going through. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Jordan, good morning. How are you? Chris checking in from Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro. I have a hard time saying that. Randy, good morning, Mike. Glad to see you at West Branch. Good time. Ferris plays Wayne State Saturday at 1 p.m. Go Dogs 5-0. Go Dogs. Let's see if we can't get another national championship. They might. I also appreciate it. Was it you, right, Randy? I think it was you who told me about several members of that team getting baptized in the Muskegon River behind campus there. How cool is that? Mickey, good morning. That's the fishing trip we only dream of, yes. Johnny, 53 years in the Yupin, finally saw his first elk here. I was inside a fence. 34 degrees this morning, Jordan says. Jim Felgenauer, good morning. How are you? Mike, good morning. The Buckeye said it came in Midwest maybe 200 yards away from me, so you might as well check in. Good luck on that one. Good morning. Arthur, how are you? Art Lewis of WSTW fame. You can hear Art on WSTW AM and FM, also online, WSTW.com, a member of the Michigan Broadcast Hall of Fame. I had a question for the Ask Mike segment of Wednesday Night Live. Do you still do that? I do not do an Ask Avery segment on Wednesday Night Live. The official Ask Avery segment is for the radio show, although I sometimes reference it on Wednesday Night Live. If you have a question for the Ask Avery segment, email it to me to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Agreed, Joe. Good morning, Jay. How are you? JT, good morning. How are you? It is chilly this morning, isn't it? And darn, it feels good. It feels so good. I can actually get excited about hunting now. And I am. My grandson Trent and I went out Sunday to the lease property and we put up one of those old man base camp stands. Now, this is a very interesting thing. I had actually asked Bob Ransom of Old Man for that very blind. And he also sent me some carnivore blinds and several tree stands. I'll talk about those in a minute. But I like that base camp concept a lot. For the main thing is, I don't want to spend $2,000 on one of those big, beautiful, hard-sided blinds. But the base camp is significantly less. It is on a 7-foot metal platform, and then it just has a fabric blind over the top of it. So my grandson Trent and I went out Sunday, and we put that up on the edge of a food plot overlooking a drop-off that goes into state land. I'm real excited about it. Jay's does not sell it. You can buy it. I think Northwoods has it. I hate to send people to Northwoods because they're not a partner, but I think Northwoods has it. I'm real excited about it. I did put yesterday, my son James and I went out there to put up some ladder stands. I did put a 1/2 inch plywood floor on top of the metal grate, and to even further insulate and silence it, I'm going to put some rugs on top of that. And also, I took a ratchet strap and I put it into one of the braces of the floor, and I put a screw-in stake into the ground underneath it with a ratchet strap between it to tighten it down to further quiet and strengthen that blind. But I'm pretty excited about it. Can you get a lock for it? No, I don't. No, I can't think of a way to lock it. Are you concerned about people getting into it and hunting it or stealing it? Because they could steal it, but you need a trailer to get it out of there. As far as locking it so somebody can't get in it, no, there's no way you can do that. But where we are on our lease property, I'm not too worried about that, fortunately. Bernie put his clubs in storage yesterday, took out his bow, trading shorts and golf shirts for camo. I am still wearing shorts today, by the way. If it touches 50 anytime throughout the day, I will wear shorts. Ed, good morning, buddy. Hey, Ed, did that spot work for you? I sent it off to you, did not hear back. Is that going to work? Johnny Bowler up at deer camp now with his brother, 2 nephews, no deer shot, but having a blast. Johnny has traded in bears for deer. So yesterday, yeah, James and I did with this cooler weather. We went out and we set up 2 of the Old Man, formerly Primal, ladder stands. What they used to call a jaw and truss ladder system. These days they call it it's something else, but it's still jaw and truss. I love these ladder stands because there's a set of jaws that actually grabs the tree. You tighten it down, and then there's a truss system with a cable. I've never hunted out of a more solid or comfortable tree stand than the old Primal, now Old Man stands, because they lock into the tree. They are extremely solid and very quiet. I love them. Tim Binns, good morning. Late to the show. I got no notification. That's on you, Tim Binns. Don't try to blame that one on me. Notifications are sent out. You get the notifications. If you didn't get it, Tim, that's not my fault. And the fact that you are late, you should not need. Tim Binns, you should not need a notification to remind you. My Behind the Mic segments every Wednesday morning at 8:45 a.m. should be so ingrained in your brain that you should not need a reminder. Same thing with Wednesday Night Live at 7 o'clock. You should need no reminder. You should just know and be ready to go. You know, I'm just kidding. Excellent, Ed. Glad to hear that. Jim says night fishing still hit and miss, but seems to be picking up. Just need some cooler weather, which reminds me, thank you, Jim. I need to get over and try some nighttime casting for walleye. Yeah. Although right now, I'm thinking deer hunting, especially now with the cooler weather. Especially now that we have that base camp blind is all set up. We've got 2 more ladder stands set up, one on the south side of the main food plot, one set up on the pooper plot, as we call it. Okay, Tim Binns, you are forgiven. Paul, who's on the shoe this week? I'll tell you in a minute. Ken Karstens, good morning, Ken. We're all looking for some cool temps here in the western Kentucky as the latest front has gone through. Wishing you the best, happy hunting. Ken, as you probably, well, I'm sure you know, I did post part of that video that you sent me. Thank you. Johnny, I'm just relaxing. All the air is out, replacing it with new air. But you had an awesome season. You did. And Johnny Bowler, thinking of next year's season already, Uncle Johnny, John Craves, Uncle Johnny, and I will be joining you, I think, for your 3rd season. So I want you to spend the next 11 months mentally preparing for the 3rd season when Uncle Johnny and I come up. I like the sturgeon on your pictures. Where was that from, John? I posted pictures. That is from the St. Clair River of Anthony Morshini of Finn's Sport Fishing. arguably the best sturgeon captain on the St. Clair River. It is cool out there this morning. Jim, how are you? If you try the east side, wait for a north wind. It's been best. I probably won't be that picky, Jim. It'll probably be some night when I get a chance, I'll just go out there and go. Johnny Bowler says it'll be a blast. It will. It will. Okay. Cooler temperatures. Got a blind set up. Got some new ladder stands set up. DNR budget. The new state budget did not include a significant increase for the DNR. It did not include license fees for the DNR, but it wouldn't. There are a couple of pieces of standalone legislation that would call for some increased funding for the DNR. One of them is a fisheries-only bill, and the fisheries-only bill does include the stamp that would allow for trolling anglers to run an unlimited number of rods. The other one is a more comprehensive DNR hunting and fishing legislation proposed by Senator John Cherry and Senator Bumstead. So we'll see what happens. Promo codes. Let me talk about some promo codes. You know about the Michigan brand promo code. If you use the promo code Mike20, you get 20% off anything at michiganbrand.net. Rapid River also has a promo code, Mike Avery 15, where you get 15% off everything except for the Avery signature knife. You can use that in person at the shop or online at rapidriverknifeworks.com. Jay's has an Avery 30 promo code to get $30 off the carnivore blind or one of their tree stands. I don't remember which one it is. That's in-store only. Now, the Lumberjack has added a promo code. Lumberjack Food and Spirits Avery 10, get 10% off. The Lumberjack Lodge has added an Avery 15 promo code, get 15% off. And the newest one from Reader Landscaping, this is if you prepay only for a sprinkler blowout, fall dormant pruning, or core aeration of your lawn, it's an Avery 5. Nick Grillo, good morning, my friend. How are you? I was just thinking yesterday, Nick, that I haven't talked to you much lately, and I was also thinking, that's a damn shame. I did hear from your sister, by the way. I made a small donation to your nephew's hockey team. But anyway, Nick, it's always a pleasure. We need to talk more. I know you've been busy. I've been busy. That's no excuse. Nick Grillo, truly one of the good guys. The entire Grillo family of Michigan Brand is a stellar family, good, solid, family-oriented, hardcore hunting and fishing family that they make great products. But you in particular, Nick, I really enjoy your company. You are truly one of the good guys. Tim Binns, I saw a picture of a small sturgeon in a local river. Very exciting for the future. Absolutely. Which blind, Johnny? Are you talking the base camp or the carnivore? Nick says, yes, sir, Mike 20. I think that's what I said, wasn't it? I think I said Mike 20. If not, let me correct it. Nope, it's not in pages. It's in Mike 20. Yep. Okay. Good, I said it right. Okay, coming up on the show this week, my first guest is Ed Blissick of the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative. He is one of the guys who has spearheaded this proposal for the fisheries division, which would involve a stamp for the hatcheries that would allow Great Lakes trolling anglers to run an unlimited number of rods. Then, Troy Harrison, the guy who shot that viral video of the big bull elk walking through a northern Michigan river. It's not a moose, and it wasn't the UP, and it wasn't the Pere Marquette. Then Joe Pressgrove from the DNR on Hunters Feeding the Hungry. In our second hour, John Upp talks about the 41 Great Lakes cartridge. Then Kaylee Rush of the DNR on waterfowl hunting season. Then Justin Tomei answers the Ask Avery question, what is the status of the DNR budget and license fee increases? And in hour number 3, Don Barnard talks about a recent moose hunt he was on. And then fall muskie fishing. Plus, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Blast off. The carnivore. Okay, I got coffee, but I got to take a big old sip of, not a sip, a slug of Crystal Light here.
Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Mike Avery has covered the
I love me some coffee in the morning, but nothing beats good cold Crystal Light.
tradition continues today. Outdoor Magazine is
Okay, who we got here before I got to go?
sporting goods, the Yater and
Tom,
Angler Quest,
Craig,
the Forward
John,
Secure
Tim.
Credit Union, Offshore
All right, my friends, have a great day.
Drives and Equipment, Garber Chevrolet,
I will see you again tonight. Oh, are these plugged in now, John? Thank you.
and by Michigan Brand Meats.
I got to go to work.
Here's Mike Avery.
Have a good day, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across this great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we work our way through this month of Rocktober. I love Rocktober. I can't see a downside to Rocktober at all. Well, except for Rocktober brings us 1 month closer to that season that starts with W. I can't say it. John, what is it? Winter. John said it. Okay, so don't blame me. John said winter. I'm not a big fan of winter, as you can tell, but I sure like Rocktober. And we are almost right in the middle of Rocktober right now, and the weather has cooled down. Isn't it wonderful? We got some rain. Wasn't it wonderful? Could we use some more? Yes. But the fall colors, they seem like they're a little early this year, aren't they? And I think it's because it's been so dry. In fact, there's one tree in our yard that the leaves just shriveled up. They just shriveled up and dropped before they ever even turned to color. So I think it's going to be an early season, fall color season. Maybe not as vibrant, as beautiful as we would like it to be, but it's coming. The Yoop is looking pretty good right now. I've had some great reports from the northern lower, and it's just, I don't know, it finally feels like fall. It doesn't feel like August anymore. It feels like fall, and I think it's great. I've actually taken advantage of these cooler temps here the last few days, not to get out and hunt, although by the time you hear this show, I will likely have spent a couple of evenings either in a ground blind or a tree stand. Last week, my grandson Trent and I went out and we put up it's new to me. It's from Old Man Outdoors. And remember that Old Man basically took a lot of the Primal Outdoor products, Bob Ransom, and rebranded them under their name. But it's called the Base Camp. And I've been watching this for the last couple of years. Because I really don't want to spend $2,000 on a real nice, beautiful, hard-sided, insulated hunting blind. I think they're great, but I'm having a hard time justifying that much money for one. So this Base Camp is set up on a 7-foot metal platform, and there's a ladder to get up to the platform. And then over a frame on top of it is just a canvas blind. And it's got shooting windows on 3 sides. And so I got one of those, and I like it. I haven't hunted out of it as we are sitting here in the studio, but I will soon. Trent and I went out and we had it all put together. James and Trent came over. We put it together in the garage, put it on the back of a trailer, and James actually loaded it on a trailer. Trent and I took it out. We backed the trailer up exactly where we wanted. We slid it out of the trailer and tilted it up, and it's perfect. Staked it in, staked it down. We set it up over the edge of a food plot overlooking a drop off that goes into state land. I think it's going to be absolutely sweet. I was concerned about noise, insulation, sound, so I put a 1/2-inch plywood floor over the metal grate. I'm going to lay some rugs in there to further insulate and dampen the sound. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really nice, comfortable spot to hunt from, and it's in a great spot, and it gives me some visibility because I'm 7 feet off the ground. Well, then 2 days later, James and I went out to the lease property, and we put up a couple of ladder stands. I personally will not hunt from an elevated platform these days, anything other than a ladder stand. I'm not going to be climbing sticks. I'm certainly not going to be climbing up gut hooks. And do you know what I mean by gut hooks? These screw-in tree steps that are so dangerous. If you fall or if you slip off them and you go down a tree, you're basically looking to get gutted by one of those screw-in tree steps. So I'm not going to use that at all. But ladder stands to me, for an old guy, are just very comfortable and very safe. So we put up a couple more ladder stands, again, over food plots. The food plots are starting to look okay. That rain we got last week, that beautiful rain we got last week, those food plots were just crying for it. They were just waiting for it. So we got some rain. They're starting to look a little bit better. We've got cameras on them, and there are a lot of does coming into these food plots, which is exactly what I'm looking for. My wife Denise told me, she said, the first chance you get, the first big doe you see, will you shoot it, please? I'm like, yep, no problem. Yes, I will, because we want some more venison. So anyway, I'm starting to get excited about deer season. Am I expecting to shoot a buck this fall? Nope. If a nice buck walks in front of me, will I shoot it? Yep. Will it be a 1.5-year-old buck? Nope. Will it be a 2.5-year-old buck? Possibly. But don't let what I am doing influence you in the least. I had this talk with my grandson Trent the other day, and he was talking about something he wanted to do as far as his hunting. And he said, Grandpa, if I do this and post it, I'm going to get crucified online. I said, Trent, do not worry about that. Don't worry about it. Either don't post it or post it and realize it's nobody else's business. Hunt your hunt. You shoot whatever animal you want, and I will do the same. And we will have a wonderful fall season. Okay, so what else is on my list here? Base camp ladder stands. Again, I love those ladder stands. I am so excited. They're set up in just the right spot. So now I'm set up for a north wind, a south wind, an east wind, a west wind. Depending on what direction of wind we get, I've got a place to sit, including my favorite, a ground blind on the north end of the big food plot that's been there for I don't know how long. It was there when we started hunting the property. People have been hunting out of that big ground blind for so many years, and I just continue that tradition. I like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Box blinds, ladder stands, ground blinds, the new carnivore. I'm liking the new carnivore. I want to tell you real briefly about some promo codes because there are getting to be so many, and I appreciate it when my partners offer promo codes, but it's starting to get confusing, so let me run down them real quick. The Mike 20 promo code from Michigan Brand has been out there for a long time. This gets you a legitimate 20% off any order that you make at michiganbrand.net. 20% off, michiganbrand.net, Mike 20. Rapid River, Mike Avery 15. 15% off your entire order at rapidriverknifeworks.com or in the store on US 2 just east of Rapid River. The only thing that promo code won't work for is the Avery signature knife because proceeds from that knife go to Outdoor Driven to get vets and first responders in the outdoors. And I was thinking just the other day, because these are handmade custom knives and it takes a little bit to work them through the system, and because Rapid River is getting into a very busy time of year, if you are thinking about offering about the Avery signature knife as a Christmas gift, now is the time to place that order. Mike Avery 15. Now, speaking of blinds, Jays has partnered with Old Man and Me to offer $30 off the Carnivore blind, and I think it's the Big Daddy. It's one of their ladder stands. They only have one ladder stand, so it's that model. You can get it at Jay's in Clare or Gaylord. Use the promo code Avery30 when you go to checkout. They'll give you $30 off. And now the folks at the Lumberjack Restaurant want a promo code too, Avery10 for 10% off. The Lumberjack Lodge, the hotel there, Avery15, 15% off. And here's the newest one. Reader Landscaping. This is for prepay only. They're offering a special for their sprinkler blowout for the fall dormant pruning and lawn core aeration, Avery 5. So see, I'm saving you money. Every time you turn around, I'm saving you money. Now you're going to have to spend some money to save some money, but I'm saving you money. We've got a very, very busy show coming up this week. Ed Blissick, after the break, is my first guest. Ed is from the Great Lakes Salmon Initiative. They have been pushing for funding for the DNR's fishery division for a long time. They have a bill, a piece of legislation in process. And interestingly, part of that legislation calls for a stamp that the money would go towards hatcheries, and that would allow you to run an unlimited number of rods for Great Lakes trolling anglers. I've been pushing for that for years. Troy Harrison, the guy who shot the video of that giant bull elk in a northern Michigan stream that went viral after I posted it, he talks about that video. I'm telling you, I cannot believe the number of interesting comments I got from that. People don't know the difference between an elk and a moose. They don't know the difference between the lower peninsula and the upper peninsula, but I get off track. Joe Pressgrove from the DNR on Hunters Feeding the Hungry in hour number 2. John Up on the 41 Great Lakes Cartridge. Kaylee Rush from the DNR on fall waterfowl hunting. Justin Tomei joins me to talk about funding for the DNR. And then in our third hour, we're talking with Don Barnard about a recent moose hunt, fall muskie fishing, and more. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. I told you, it's a busy show this week. Good morning, Matt. How are you? Hunter Joe, always a pleasure. Randy, good luck. Have fun. Jim, thank you. All right, my friends. I'm going to work on the radio show. I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I hope to see you then. In the meantime, enjoy the glorious cooler weather and have a great day.